Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play a fingerstyle arrangement of the main theme from The Last of Us Part 2. So let's get into it. So first of all, we are in standard tuning, and one thing that you need to keep in mind is the song is in free tempo or rubato, which means there's no pulse or steady beat which keeps the song in a specific tempo. So that means you can speed up and slow down according to your taste, and it's very open to interpretation. And before we start, I'd like to give a very special thanks to Andrew Amoy, who's my first supporter at my Patreon page. For those of you who don't know, I just started my Patreon page. You can find all the tabs for these lessons over there. I'll link it down below in the description. Check it out. So let's start with the lesson. To make things a little easier to explain, I've divided this song into 5 different parts. We have the main riff intro, then we have the chorus. After that, we have the bridge and then the solo part. And after that, we have the main riff outro. So let's start with the main riff in the intro. It sounds like this. So we start with an A minor chord which sounds like this. You have the 2nd fret of the D string, the 2nd fret of the G string, and the 1st fret of the B string. And you also have the open A string and the open high E string. So what you have to play sounds like this, where you're playing the open A string, then the B string, and then the G string. Like that. And after that, you just have to lift this finger up, so you're left with these 2 notes on the 1st fret of the B string and the 2nd fret of the G string. And all you have to do is move them up 2 frets to the 4th fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B string. Those 2. And now you have to play this, where you're playing the A string, the B string, and then the G string. Like that. So from the start you get this. And after that you have this, where you go back down to the 1st fret and the 2nd fret and you bring this note back in, so you have the A minor shape again, and you play this. So there you're playing the A string, then the B string, then the G string first, and then you're playing the B string, G string, and then the D string. Like that. So far from the start you have this. And after that you have this part. So there you're gradually moving up. So you start with the same shape. You have the A minor chord without this note. So you play this. Again the A string, B string, and then the G string. Then you have this again, same as before. And after that you have this part. So there the first 2 chords are the same, which you played before. After that you have this, where you're playing the 5th fret of the G string with your ring finger and the 5th fret of the B string with your little finger. And you have to play the A string, B string, and then the G string. And then you play the B string and G string again. One more time. So far from the start you have this. And right after that you have this part. So you start off again the same as before. And after that you have this part, where you play the A string, then the B string, then the G string. And then you play the B string and the G string again. And after that you have this part. So there you're just playing the A minor chord, you're playing this, where you play the D string, G string, and then the B string. And then you change the chord to this, where you're playing the 2nd fret of the A string with your index finger and the 4th fret of the B string with your little finger. You play it like that. You plug the A string first and then the B string. So from the start of this part you have this. And after that you have this part. So right after you played this chord, you have to play this note on the 3rd fret of the B string with your middle finger. And then you play this note on the 5th fret of the G string with your little finger. And after that you play this note on the 2nd fret of the D string. So you get this. So far you have this. So there I'm playing the last note on the 2nd fret of the D string with a bar. So with the index finger I'm just making a small bar over there so that I can play this note as well. So you end up with this. And after that you have this. So there you start with the open G string first. And then you play the A minor chord. So here you're playing the A string, D string and the G string. You play that with a roll. So the entire thing sounds like this. So if I play the whole thing slowly, it sounds like this. So in the song, this whole thing just repeats one more time. So if I play the whole thing like it is in the song, it sounds like this. After that you have the chorus, which sounds like this. So there we start with this chord, where we have the 7th fret of the D string, the 5th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string. We also have the open A string there. So we'll call this chord an A minor 7 chord. So you start by playing this, where you play the chord with a roll starting from the open A string. And after that you play the B string 3 times. So you get this. And after that you have this part. So right after you played this, played the B string 3 times. After that you play that once more. And then you change the note to the note on the 7th fret of the B string. And then you play this. So there you have the 7th fret of the G string and the 7th fret of the B string. And you also have the open A string. So you have this, where you plug the A string first and then you plug the G and B string together. That's how it sounds. So from the start we have this. And after that we have this part. So now we have a D minor triad with the open A string. So you're playing the 7th fret of the G string, the 6th fret of the B string, and the 5th fret of the high E string with the open A string. So you start by playing this, which is a roll starting from the A string. You're playing the A string, G string, B string, and the high E string, like that. And after that you have this, where you play the G string once and then the B string 3 times. And you play this right after the roll. So I'll play that really slow. And after that you have this, where you have the 5th fret of the G string and the 5th fret of the B string there. And you also have the open A string. So you plug the G and B string together first, and then you play the A string, and then you play the G and B string again. So it sounds like this. So the whole thing sounds like this. And if you play it from the start, and after that you just have to repeat that whole thing one more time, but there's this slight variation. It sounds like this. So there's a slight change on the A minor 7 chord, which is the first chord. You have to play it like this now. So the bass changes to E. You have the note E on the bass. This is the 7th fret of the A string. So now you're playing the 7th fret of the A string, the 7th fret of the D string, the 5th fret of the G string, and the 8th fret of the B string. Like that. So this time you start with 3 consecutive rolls. Like that. And after that you play this note. This is the note on the 5th fret of the high E string there. So you can play that note by doing a bar with your index finger like this. And then you have this part. And after that you continue the same way, you just repeat what you did before. So that's the whole chorus. I'll play it again from the start. It sounds like this. After that you have a short bridge section which sounds like this. So here we start with a partial G major chord which is played like this. So you have the 3rd fret of the low E string and the 3rd fret of the B string. So you plug the low E string first and then you play the D string, G string and the B string with a roll. The D string and the G string are open. And after that you have this part. So there you slide from the 3rd fret of the B string to the 5th fret. And then you slide back down to the 3rd fret. And then you pull off to the 1st fret of the B string. Like that. So if I play it slowly, you have this. And right after you reach this note on the 1st fret of the B string, you have this chord. So there you're playing an F major chord. You have the 1st fret of the low E string, the 3rd fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the G string, and the 1st fret of the B string. Plug the low E string first, and then you plug the D string, G string, and the B string together. So you get this. And if you play it from the start, and right after you played the chord, you have this part. So there you play this note on the 2nd fret of the G string and then you pull off to the open G string. and then you bring it back and then you play this, where you plug the E string first, the low E string, and then you plug the D string and the G string together. So you have this, and after that you have this part. So there, while you're holding the F major chord, you play this note on the 2nd fret of the G string once, and then you shift to an A minor chord. So you get this. So the entire bridge sounds like this. And then you have the solo part, which sounds like this. So you start by playing these two notes. You have the 2nd fret of the G string and the 1st fret of the B string. Plug the G string, then the B string, then the G string again. Like that. And after that you play this note on the 4th fret of the B string. So you don't need to hold this note anymore. You can let that go. And after that you have this part. So there you change to the 3rd fret of the B string with your ring finger, and you also hold the 1st fret of the B string there. So you do a hammer on and pull off. Play this note first and then do the hammer on pull off. And then you have this, where you plug the G string, then the B string, and then the G string again. So I'll play the whole thing again really slow. It sounds like this. And after that you have this phrase. So there the first part is exactly the same as what you did before, but in the end there's a change. So you have this. Up till there it's exactly the same as before. And then you just play this note 2 times, the G string. So if I play the first 2 phrases, it sounds like this. And after that there's one more which sounds like this. So the first 3 notes there are exactly the same as before. And then you have this new part. So you have this. So there you start on the 3rd fret of the B string with your ring finger, and then you slide up to the 4th fret, and then you slide back down to the 3rd fret really quickly. Like that. One more time. And then you pull off to the 1st fret of the B string. So you get this. And if the sliding part is too difficult for you, you can also choose to replace that with a hammer on and pull off. So instead of doing this, you can also play. So you have this. So you can replace that whole thing with the hammer on and pull off there. Like that. And to end, you just play this, where you play the note on the 2nd fret of the G string and the 1st fret of the B string. You just go back and forth, you play the G string, B string, and then the G string again. Like that. So the whole thing sounds like this. So if you play from the start till this part, you have this. And after that you have this part. So there you start on the 2nd fret of the G string with your ring finger, and then you play this. So you start by playing the note on the 2nd fret, and then you play the note again and slide up to the 4th fret, and then you slide back down to the 2nd fret. One more time really slow. And after that you have this. So there you change into an E minor chord which sounds like this. You have the 2nd fret of the A string, the 2nd fret of the D string, and the open G string ringing out. So you have this. So right after you played the slide, you should play that. I'll play that one more time really slow. And after that you have this. So there you have this note on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then you have the open G string, and then you have the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you lift this up to play the open A string, and you play the whole chord with a roll. Like that. So the whole thing sounds like this. And you just have to repeat that whole thing one more time, so it sounds like this. One more time. So that's the whole solo section. I'll play the whole thing once. It sounds like this. And after that we have the main riff outro, which sounds like this. So you start off exactly the same way. You have to play the exact same thing that you played in the main riff in the intro of the song, which you already learned. So you have this. That part is exactly the same as before. And after that you have this part. So there you start with an A minor chord and you play this, where you play the A string, G string, and then the B string. And then you have this part which you already learned, you know this. You've played this in the intro before. And you just have to repeat that whole thing 2 more times. So it sounds like this. And one more time. And that's it. So if I play the whole outro, it sounds like this. So you start the song with the main riff intro, then you have the chorus, after that you have the bridge and then the solo, and then you have this part which is the outro. So that's the whole song. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. All the tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any questions or requests for song tutorials, then do let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.